Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of They Did What, where we talk about the celebrity stories we have covered on Mama's Uncut at length. Again, we have Lisa and Mindy. You guys ready to talk about some celebrity gossip?
My favorite thing to do.
All right, let's go.
Judging celebrities all day long.
All right. Amanda Kloots self-deprecatingly admitted that she was not a good wife to her late husband, Nick. So if you didn't know, Nick Cordero passed away due to COVID-19. Before the pandemic, apparently Cordero was planning on changing his career from acting to singer-songwriter, including moving from their home in New York City, where they had a lot of family and friends, to Los Angeles. He reportedly believed that he could find work as an actor on film while having an easier time making connections in the music industry. Kloots admitted that she explained how she was not understanding of any of it, as she did not see the value in moving to Los Angeles for Nick's songwriting. Continuing, I was like, it's a waste of time. We have no money. He did not feel supported by me, and I wasn't supportive. However, in fall of 2019, Kloots came to an understanding with Cordero, and she said that they finally came to a place of this is marriage, you have to compromise. But now she's kind of dealing with this sort of regret now that her husband has passed away, and she feels like a bad wife. And I just, it's so sad because, she wasn't a bad wife. Like, of course it come, if you're doing something that's scary and you're not the person who came to this idea, it's going to be difficult to kind of wrap your head around it at first. And it seems like she finally did, but it wasn't soon after this that he, contracted COVID-19 and passed away.
I mean, I think she should be, it's so hard I think she's probably going through grief and just working through what naturally happens. There's things regret that pops up for anyone when they're grieving, no matter who they lose. There's just feelings that naturally come up. And I feel for her in that. I think she definitely is not at fault. I think it should be celebrated that their marriage, they were able to work through that big of a difference, and that they arrived at a place where they were able to work through it. And I think that shows that they were doing a good job working together. And I think that's what should be celebrated and focused on, rather than her not feeling supportive of his dreams or whatever. I think that it's good to have different opinions in a marriage, because it makes you a lot of times arrive at a better place than you would have just having one of you make a decision sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, and I would add to that, if we rewind to when he was sick, and how much awareness I think she added to what really happens during this illness, because he battled this extensively and for several months, and he was one of the people early on who where the struggle was very extended, and it was touch and go, and sometimes he was okay and sometimes he was not. Like, the work she did around that for everybody else, I also think should be celebrated, and is an example of a wonderful wife who is super dedicated to her husband. And like, there wasn't, you saw her journey, and you saw her struggle, and you saw her heartbreak the entire time over those many months. And it was, I remember reading the day he died, I was like, oh my God, how did you pick him? He fought so hard.
Yeah. I also want to say, like, Amanda should be applauded for how open she's being about all of this, because she's just letting people know that they're not alone. She's letting people know that they can relate, and this is happening to everyone. And she's one of, unfortunately, the few well-known people who traumatically suffered from COVID-19. And, for her to be as open, she could have easily shut down. She could have easily not done or talked about any of this. And now there's so many people who know, like, oh, I have this regret too, but I don't need to have this regret. I get it's normal, and I get I need to work through it, but there's so many other things that I should be celebrating.
Yeah.
All right, guys, don't forget to send in your anonymous questions. Thanks.